Welcome to the HyPrix Porsche Cup, presented by GT Champions.
Hey, Pirate here with Black Flag Racing TV. We are here for the HyPrix GT Champions Porsche Cup. This is round 3 Division 2. Thank you very much to Chris Ball for round 1. It's a shame about the quality of the broadcast, but we'll get that sorted out. Don't worry about that. Congratulations to the top 3 there, of course. Sharky with another good race. But it's all about this week, and it's all about Division 2 now. So last week, this is what happened. And I apologise, I couldn't be here last week, but I'm back and we're all good to go. Arminus, you have a good stream into 2, my friend. This was the result last week. Bite the Roses with a great result for HyPrix, picking up the big win for them. And my friend Wooly from ART, good result with him in 2nd place. Rusty Nuts rounded out that top 3. Arminus from Black Flag, can't forget to mention him, of course, being one of our drivers, finished in 10th place. Great result that. This is how it leaves the standings. We'll jump into qualifying in a sec. Qualifying will start in a couple of minutes. And do apologise, we're running late. A few issues with Division 1, but, you know, it's what happens when you rely on technology. That's how the season looks after 2 races, after Road Atlanta last week. Bite the Roses leads the way from Wooly. Method rounds out the top 3. A couple of other quick drivers, Lipe, Parafuso, and they were really quick in week 1. They're certainly ones to watch out for. We've got the RWB drivers. J-Rod, I understand, not with us today. He's had to go somewhere else. But we do have Venom, so we'll get to see Venom and how he performs for RWB. Bipolar Express for HyPrix as well. And we know what he's capable of. So, HyPrix. That's our team, HyPrix. Sim racing, graphic design, logo design, profile branding. Put it this way, it looks pretty because they make it so. And they are really, really good. Check them out. They are, of course, the sponsors of the HyPrix Porsche Cup. So, if you didn't know already, I'm Pirate. This is Watkins Glen for round 3. Another great racetrack, situated in New York, or near New York, I believe. Never been there, of course. It's situated near New York. We are jumping into qualifying very shortly. Let's have a quick rundown of what the situation is this evening. Well, this evening, so early hours in the morning here. It is February the 4th, well, February the 5th, technically, if you're in the UK right now. 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's not 11 p.m. GMT. That's for Group 1. Group 2 is actually, well, now, essentially. 60 minutes, 10 minutes of qualifying. It's a grid start. Light damage on, BOP is on, tuning is off. Everyone's in the Porsche 911 RSR, middle engine, rear wheel drive beast of a car that seems to be, and has been for pretty much most of this game's life, the predominant GR3 car. Most tracks, it's pretty difficult to beat. Any tires are available, you can use any you like in any particular order, it really doesn't matter. But it's all about time management here, and this is quite a abrasive track, and it's a difficult track to overtake unless you're smart. So I think without further ado, that's so really posh, isn't it? Further ado, I'm really not that posh, guys. Honestly, really not that posh. Let's have a little jump in and see what's occurring, shall we? Bring up all the details. Boom Shanker. That's better, isn't it? So we'll have a rundown of who's who and what's what, and where everyone is, and I hope this is good quality for you all. That's the one I wanted. There we go. And more things than time today. So there is Method leading everyone out. Arminist from Black Flag, of course. Good luck today, my friend. He is a Lithuanian driver. I know he's got the British flag there. He's based in the UK, but he is a Lithuanian national. And you can actually catch the Lithuanians tomorrow. If you're at a loose end tomorrow evening, it is the GR3 Championship starting tomorrow. It says the 3 of the GR3 Championship starting tomorrow. Fry and the Whiskers from Spain. He doesn't. No, I don't know if that's a livery problem or if that's just a missing livery. Who knows? There is a few issues with sometimes the livery's not showing. There is Bipolar Express, first of 2 HyPrix drivers. So obviously they'll be getting a little bit of a prominent plugging today. Wooly from Amigos Racing Team. We'll be seeing a lot of him next week. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that later anyway. Good friends of ART are Black Flag, of course. Parafusio from Portugal, and his teammate is out here somewhere. We'll find him in a minute. But he was pretty quick in race number 1, so certainly going to be one to watch out for here. Rusty Nuts, the first of our Australian drivers in again, I don't know why I'm saying in the 911 line. Anyone's going to pick any other car for the Porsche Cup, of course. And Renegade, ISA Renegade. There he is. He is another Australian, and I think it is a display issue we're having. And I'm going to be honest, generally I find with Australian drivers, I don't know if that's just unique to me. It's nothing personal, guys. Absolutely nothing personal. Bite the Roses. Good laugh. Yeah, he was racing this week. A fun thing on a Saturday. Times when we just mess around and have a laugh and just do some really short races and stuff, and he joined us for that. But then obviously we're putting out a break ready for this. Another HyPrix driver, of course, HPR 82. He is promoted from Division 3 to take up a space, and I can tell you quite categorically that he's quick. How quick is he compared to these guys? We'll soon find out. But absolutely dominated Division 3 for a couple of races he was in there. There is Scarlet. He Belgian driver, and can put in a good shift when it's called for. He's of course the Division 4 GTC current champion, having won that at the end of last year. There's Parafusio Wrestling, that's quick kick. There we go, quick kick. American driver, again living with showing his car for whatever reason. Lipe, that's Parafusio's teammate from Great Britain. There's ISA Renegade from the Ice Racing team, of course. I think I've covered everybody. The only person I can't see out there at the moment is Venom, but I know he's here somewhere. Right, so let's have a look what sort of times we've got so far. Well, so far, Bipolar Express is demonstrating that kind of pace that I thought he would have, and there we go, 1:43.2. Now, qualifying wise, I think that it's going to be there or thereabouts. It's going to be a low 43. I know that you can, with these settings, get a late 42, but that is, the perfect storm, and certainly not with a full tank of fuel. I don't think it's look. I could say correctly, but I think we're going to see a qualifying time of around certainly the very low 43s here. Race pace, of course, will be more likely around the 44s. If you drive like this, your tyres will be gone after about 6 laps. That's not quite that bad, you know what I mean. Friday Whiskers will join him on front row as it stands. That's a 44.0 for him. So quite a big difference between Bipolar Express and everybody else at the moment. HPR 44.1 for him. That puts him currently on row 2. And joined by Willie from ART. Good qualifying there for Harmonist of Black Flag Racing team. Very, very brilliant team they are. Very fantastic, and their management are awesome people. You should really get to know them better. As I say that, he gets busted down to 8th place as a punishment for self-depreciation. I think depreciation is it self-flagellation. For want of a better expression. I've just realised what that means as well. Hopefully most of you don't. Quick kick. There he is, currently in 5th. Scarlet has got themselves onto row 3 in 6th place. Wooly busted down to 7th. That is, HPR's just put himself on the front row at 43.6. So far, only 2 drivers got sub 44. Bipolar Express looking pretty darn racy. Parafusio with a 44.8 quickest time, nothing to improve last time out. Neither did Rusty Nuts, who did a 44.8. Renegade, 44.9 for him, but that penalty means that this lap won't be quite so speedy. There's Venomy's out there now, he's done a 44.9. So it's all very, very close. By the Roses, 46.7 and a 43.7, but the fact that 43.7 is blanked out would suggest that that was a but he's going to be there or thereabouts, I think, today. Good solid racer is Roses, of course. And then there's Method, yet to set. Strategies. There are 2 very distinct strategies here. There's more than 2 strategies. It's either a 1-stop or a 2-stop in that respect, but there's 2 strategies. But how you operate those, so basically, if you're 2-stopping, you can 2-stop this soft. 3 stints of soft tyres. 2 stops, 3 stints, obviously. And that seems to be, I can vouch for yesterday, that being a really, really solid approach for drivers in the top 3. To stop twice and use just soft compound tyres. You can also go soft medium. If you're really, really brave, you could do soft and soft, but that requires a crazy level of tyre saving, which I'm not necessarily convinced is the way forward. Nobody yet that I've seen has used hard compound tyres, mainly because they're rubbish, obviously, but I think that's probably going to be the way forward. Although there are a couple of drivers I know that have gone medium, and put just so you put more load through those tyres. But I really think it depends on how confident you feel with consistency and lap times when you're on the medium compound tyre. It's not super quick, the mediums in comparison, although it shouldn't be much difference, but it is what it is. Bipolar Express currently still on pole, and I said there was a high 42 in there, didn't I? And Bipolar Express has demonstrated just that. That is Division 1 pace. A 42.9 qualifying time is Division 1 pace, and that is a really solid time there from Bipolar Express. HPR straight out of Division 3 into Division 2 and demonstrates why that was a thoroughly deserved promotion. Puts himself on the front row alongside Bipolar Express with a 1:43.6. Last lap wasn't quite so great, but still very solid. There is it's last lap shenanigans now. If you're out there, this is your last opportunity. You've got about 35 seconds to cross the line if you want to get one more crack at this. Fry and the Whiskas. Is it Whiskas or Whiskers? Whiskas. Fry and the Whiskas. From Spain. He currently resides on row 2 ahead of Lipe from the United Kingdom. I think he might be a Portuguese descent. Don't hold me to that though. I don't have any. I do have. I have a reason for thinking it, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily true. Rusty Nuts from Australia. There he is currently sitting on row 3, and he at the moment has a quick kick for company, and from the United States. Then we look at row 4. There is Scarlett from the Ice Racing Team, Belgian driver, and he's got British driver Wooly from ART for company. On that row 4. Row 5, Arminist from Black Flag Racing Team, whoop whoop, Lithuanian driver. He is with Parafuso. Actually, Joe, I'm quite surprised to see Parafuso's pace at the Rebel Ring on the moist track was very, very good. But I expect to see him higher up. But you know, it is what it is. Renegade resides on row 6, and he has Venom from the United States for the Red, White, and Blue Racing Team. Of course, that is Chris's home, shall we say? And he's currently on row 6. Row 7 is Method, and Bite the Roses. What's going on with Roses in his pace? Remember, this guy won last week, so unless that's super, super quick, well, it's got him into the top 6, so he's done what he needed to do. Full rundown then. Bipolar Express on pole with HPR 82. Third and fourth is Friday Whiskas and Wooly. Parafusio, Bite the Roses are on row 3. Lipe and Rusty Nuts on row 4. Row 5 is Quick Kick with Isascale. Arminis, GT and Venom are on row 6. Row 7, Renegade and Method. And we're unsure on that, so J-Mod who couldn't make it today. So there we go. We have how many? That is. I wanted to confirm that was Indonesia. I'm pretty good with flags, but I don't know what that one is. So if somebody could tell me, I don't actually know. I'm saying Indonesia. I've got no reason to think that. But just for some reason, that's what popped into my head. So if anyone can confirm or deny where that's from, that'd be brilliant. But yeah, it is. Anyway, so 60 minutes of racing here at the Glen, Watkins Glen, and this track is such a tricky circuit. You've got, I mean, we'll do a kind of full rundown. We'll go on board with somebody once we've got the race underway and we've made sure there's no, I say first turn nonsense. Generally, you don't have too many problems here on turn 1. It's not a huge rundown to turn 1 anyway. And generally people keep it clean. It's one of those sort of tracks where going off the racing line generally costs you time, so it's not that easy just to chuck one up the inside and nick yourself a place. You have to be so measured with your overtaking here and make sure you get it spot on right, because it can go horribly wrong. Ignore my little red car. We were racing really low BHP cars around Bathurst for no other reason than to see how quickly we could get them to go uphill. It just goes to show that it doesn't matter how old you are, you still act like a child. Right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes is the nod from Venom. So, what can we talk about? Let's talk about talk about HyPrix. There we go. Team HyPrix. Sim racing, graphic design, logo design, liveries, web design. Pretty much anything to do with sim racing or the design of the broadcast, or the design of race suits, cars, liveries, profile, graphics, streamer, anything. That's what they specialise in, and they're really, really good at it. I mean, you can see throughout the broadcast. I mean, obviously, I make it look rubbish because my skills are shocking. But you can see the quality. This is the sort of stuff they churn out, and it's all brilliant. All logos designed and everything's turned around so quickly. I mean, you imagine that we race here. There's 3 divisions race here once a week, and all this stuff is ready and done and dusted like that. And it's never kind of lastminute.com, and it's always looking fleek. Is that a word? Is that one of the words that the kids are using nowadays, on fleek? I have no idea what it means, but I'm sure I've heard one of my teenagers use that crazy expression. HPR saying in chat that everyone's fast. You're on the front row, my friend. You're fast. It's not just them, it's you too, man. So 60 minutes around the Glen here. It will be fast and furious and frantic, and everybody's going to be vying for a good space on the racetrack. And I think strategy will definitely play a part here. We've already seen, we saw Division 3 yesterday. We saw how close that was, and still can't believe we had an overtake literally 3 corners from the end to change the top 3. Doesn't happen often, that, but I'll tell you what, I love it when it does. Absolutely love it. Got some great teams represented out there, and lots of countries represented as well, which is always great. Everyone's readying up, so we'll be jumping in a minute. I'll go on board with someone sort of midfield, or not on board, but I'll be on with someone midfield. Make sure everyone gets through safely. We'll see what happens. We haven't had any problems so far. But yeah, really been looking forward to this all week. Because I missed out last week because of my medical issue, but I'm sorted. I'm back on the mend, and thanks everyone for the concern. Awesome to know that you are loved by all. So, just waiting for this race to start. I hate this little bit in between. It's a bit like not for me. I basically just waffle. You guys listen, and at some stage, my dulcet tones. Someone likened my voice to hold your brakes as a bit of stop check grid. I had it wrong the last couple of races. Okay. Yeah, someone told me that I've got one of those voices. You only hear them late night radio shows where they, you phone in and you've got the soft dulcet tones of pirate, that kind of thing. Yeah, so if I send you to sleep, that's not my intention. Okay, we are just waiting now for the start. Shouldn't be too much longer. Everyone's readied up, everyone's ticked in, everyone's in the right car. Maybe all the liveries might show when we go back in, because they're all showing here on the screen. So hopefully, touch me on wood, they'll show properly when we go back in. There's me. Ignore my SR rating there as a D. I'm not B. I'm not usually that low. I've been doing a little. I do a little thing once a week. It's called Dicks of the Dailies. Where you go to the daily race and you find all people who drive like idiots, and then I immortalise them on YouTube for no other reason than because I can. And it just so happens that I've encountered a few, and it's not helped my own SR being involved with them. Put it that way. Put it this way, I try to avoid them less now because I want to film them. It's kind of like going to a war zone and running in front of bombs. Okay, let's jump in. Get rid of that. So we're going to start and then we're going to jump out and then jump back in really quickly because that's what we have to do. Jump out, jump back in. And we're away. And we're away pretty cleanly. I don't want to miss anything the first time. I want to get all the details up in a second. Just want to make sure that everyone gets through clean. It looks, there was a little bit of a fisticuffs. How many have we lost? Only a couple of cars there, so not too bad. So one little incident, but pretty much everyone else away pretty cleanly. There we go. Right. So let's have a little rundown. This is where we need a little bit of a quick kick with a massive penalty there. So clearly quick kick, not where is it? 5-second penalty. Yeah, so not great on the brakes. Quick kick, and that's a huge penalty to serve, especially on lap 1. It's going to cost you so much time. But HPR gets away very well into the lead of this race. I'm telling everyone in chat how quick even they were, and has demonstrated just how quick they are by disappearing off into the distance and being chased down, of course, by Bipolar Express, your pole sitter. Wooly up into 3rd place for AIT. Friar Whiskers in 4th. Half-second penalty for Friar Whiskers. That'll be for track limits. That served. Holds on though. Parafuso a bit closer, but not quite close enough. Roses in 6th is where he started. As Parafuso makes that move on Friar Whiskers, just had a little bit more momentum coming down there after the penalty was served, of course. Where is Quickie out? As I thought, after serving that 5-second penalty at the back of the pack, and Arminis must have got caught up in all of that shenanigans because he's right back in 13th place. No, Stuart's inquiry, if I know it was a black flag driver, I would have red flagged it. I'm only joking, of course I wouldn't do that. Lipe down in 12th, Renegade in 11th place, Method is in 10th, there is Venom, and that's who's going into the pits. Rusty Nuts diving into the pits very early, actually. Interesting to go in the pits quite so early, as you don't have to repair damage, but, you know, everyone's choice is everyone's choice. So HPR already starting to hammer time, and that's 1.2 seconds already ahead of Bipolar Express. Now, anyone that's seen Bipolar Express race knows how quick Bipolar is, and how hard that must be to pull away from a guy with that kind of pace. However, you know, slowly catching monkey is an expression that my grandmother used to use, and that means that you don't have to rush into everything. And sometimes rushing can be detrimental, but I suppose it depends as well on the strategies that they are employing today. So 1.4 seconds, HPR leads from Bipolar Express, and let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at the livery. Let's have a look at the. There you go. That's a good look around the. What's the way we go around the livery there, and supporting, funny enough, the Mine Charity. Which Black Flag did an event for mine over before Christmas and into New Year. 3-hour endurance events to raise some money for mine, raised 500 quid, which was brilliant. So good to see other people supporting the same charity. There's the ART car of Wooly in 3rd place, half a second back from Bipolar. I don't know why I forgot his name, but I'm literally just talking about him. Fried and Whiskers, no livery to see there. That's not displaying properly. It just looks like a mismatch of colours. It looks pretty cool, but it's not displaying properly at all. By the road is another HyPrix livery there, and there's Scarlet for Ice Racing Group. That's displaying nicely. That's a really cool livery. And Renegade, to be fair, chucked out some brilliant livery through. He's 1.6 seconds back from Roses, just outside that top 6. Venom, RWB driver. There's his livery there. Is that displaying properly? It looks to be. It does look to be displaying. Or I can't, I'm not sure. But 1.7 seconds back from Scarlet at the moment as they go through that chicane. There's Method. Do like that. And Method under some pressure from Lipe. Look at that. Lipe crawling all over the back of Method at the moment. Is there a way through? Can they find a way in? A little bit of lag there on Method. States. I hate when you're behind a car that's lagging like that. It's so difficult to know when to make that move and try and take the position, because the car is not necessarily what you think it is. And Lipe just pushing a little bit too hard there, gets a bit squirrely and spends a bit of time on the grass. That brings Renegade good run down, and Renegade actually his livery's not displaying. Despite the fact that he's probably used to have the same one as Sky. But gets through where Method just got a bit squirrely and moves up to 10th place. Although Lipe having another go trying to get back at him. Quick kick, nothing to see there. There's Armin's Black Flag Racing. That's, of course it is, because it is. And Rusty Nuts brings up the rear of the back. So Quick Kick makes his way up to 12th after that initial 5-second penalty, dropped him down the order. So Armin is Rusty Nuts not having a great day so far. What about HPR? Well, HPR settled into a bit of a rhythm now. It looked like he was going to start to really go hammer time and pull away, but it's just settled into a good, solid first few lap rhythm. Just to make, managing that pace, you want to make sure the car guy's not getting a great slipstream off of you. By the same token, you want to make sure you're maintaining a decent gap while looking after the tyres and all the other bits of bits you have to think about when you're driving. And doesn't it just annoy you when people jump into a room they know they're not supposed to be in? It's very clear what this room's for. There's always one. Bipolar Express still running in second, 1.6 seconds is the gap, but at the moment not having an easy ride of it, because there is Wooly tucked in behind, just waiting to pounce and find a way through. We know it's difficult to pass here. We know you have to be measured and pick the right moment. You can make an overtake there if the other car goes a little bit wide, and you're very, very brave, but not necessarily everywhere. Right, let's do an onboard lap with who's going to cross the line for? Let's go with HPR, because HPR's the leader, they're going to cross the line, and we'll do a full onboard lap so we can have a look, because we don't have track points anymore. So you get a good exit out of here. Oh, idiot. There we go. Good exit out of here, and you stay on this left-hand side. Get the hammer down up into 6th gear if you get a chance. Then it's changing down into 3rd. You get it turned in nice and early. Then back on the power, because you do not let off that accelerator now for quite some time. And you start heading up the hill as it snakes around to that right hand side and just slithers back to the left. In amongst those cage sides you can see. Just crawling up the hill, up the hill, up the hill, up the hill, flat out until you get to this chicane at the top. And it is literally a little dip of the brakes down to 4th gear. You can really abuse those curves and then powering back out of that chicane before you start to feather the throttle. Here it feels like an age. You're kind of going round that right-hander before you can get back on the accelerator and push that gas, dropping down to 3rd gear here for this widening left-hander. So it feels like it's going to be a full 180, but it kind of widens out at the end. And then you've got a similar right-hander here, which is a little bit long, a little bit tighter, and then you're back into this kind of looming cage as you head again uphill before this next right-hander. And this is where, if you go wide, you can end up miles from the racetrack. There is such a big runoff area there, which is great, I suppose, if you outbrake yourself, but it's great if you want to try and get back on the track at some stage. Left turn here again, another, it's one that's not quite so wide before. Now you head down, back in towards the stadium section. It's a left-hander, it's a right-hander, and this right-hand turn here is where you think you either pull off to that right-hand side there and off into the pits, or you get it turned in and get on the power, and that is a lap at the Glen. I was about that, and that was a very good lap actually, 44.0 for him, and that's opened the gap up to 3.2 seconds from Bipolar Express. So HPR really putting that hammer down and opening up that gap. And we know that Bipolar's quick, we know Will's quick, we know Parafusio's quick, some other quick drivers in there. And I'll tell you what I've just seen is Roses. Roses has lost some places. Lap 4 was a 1:54.9, lost 10 seconds on that lap. That must have been a little off somewhere, and that's cost him some time. Last week's winner and the current championship leader back in 9th place. So hopefully his game plan will involve being quicker later. But it won't help him losing 3 places here. So that promotes everybody that was behind him. We know who the top 3 are. There's Parafusio. Just outside that top 3, 2.5 seconds is the gap. Fried and Whiskers from Spain, 1.1 seconds behind, certainly keeping up with him, and that's their own little personal battle at the moment, for 4th and 5th. Then, up into 6th now is Scarlet, Division 4 champion, the GTC Division 4 champion. Look, you know, he's not every Division 4 champion, there are other Division 4s. He's not champion, I'm sure. Football Division 4, for instance. But I digress. He's in a little bit of no man's land at the minute between Fried and Whiskers and Method. 3.5 one side, 4 seconds the other. There is Method, late to the party, but starting to put in some good solid lap times. And I said the quick lap times are going to be 44s. The steadier lap times are the mid 45s, which is kind of where we expect to be at this stage. Excuse me, you might be really tired of getting up until gone midday. Let's be brutally honest. Yeah, it's gone midday in the UK. But then I was up until quite late last night. So should go down and get some admin done. Lipe from the United Kingdom. He's half a second back from Method and trying to find a way through. Bite the Roses. Now trying to negate that 10-second loss where he had clearly had an off of some sort as he closes up on the back of Lipe. What if it's short for Felipe or for random guesses, of course. A quick kick. Back up to 10th after serving that 5-second penalty for the massive shunt into turn 1. And that was a massive shunt. It didn't take too many people. It certainly wasn't a red flag scenario. Only caught one, I think it was only Armies really, I think got caught up in that. Who is running currently in 11th place, and will certainly want to be getting around Quick Kick as a way of saying, that's for driving into me, boy. So he's got some work to do to move back up the order to where he qualified. There is Renegade. He's got Venom over the back of him. Venom looking for a way through past the Australian driver. Unfortunately, Renegade's beautiful livery not showing on his 911. And bringing up the rear, there is Rusty Nuts, another Australian. Quite a lot of Australian drivers in this GTC. I suppose it's a time zone thing, isn't it? I suppose. But then saying that, we've got a lot of British drivers, which you wouldn't expect necessarily, as it is a ridiculous clock for us at the moment. It is 1:15 in the morning. But there is Rusty Nuts from Australia, 2.3 seconds back. 30 seconds off the lead at this early stage of the race. So, 10 minutes in, well 12 minutes into the first 60 minutes, and we've had a little bit of action. We've seen a little crash in turn 1 that took out one car and saw a penalty at 5 seconds serve. We've seen HBR go hammer time, and look at that, charging through the I've got a word for it, the chicane. Fastest lap so far, 1:43.5. Let's just put that into context, okay? A 1:43.5 in a race where most people that qualified with a slower time than that. And he was going into chat talking about how fast everybody was. Is someone playing little mind games? We know you're quick, son. Don't even try all that. Promoted already from Division 3 because he was so crazy quick in the space. Became available. And at the moment, the way he's driving, he brought half his points with him, so he's not going to jump straight to the top 3 anymore, but he's certainly going to be there or thereabouts if he keeps performing like this. There is Bipolar Express. Well, how, when I can see his name right in front of me, did I forget he was called Bipolar Express? Answer the postcard, and they will go into Bipolar Express from the United States. He's 1.7 seconds ahead of Woolley, just shaking off that little challenge from the British driver for Amigos Racing Team. LTM Barafusio 106, I'm assuming it's could be pronounced Parafaso. Barafusio, it sounds more exotic. Barafusio. He's not Italian in any way, it just sounds good. 1.4 seconds back from Woolley, and just 9/10 up from Frying Whiskers off Spain. Love the Frying Whiskers, sounds like a folky band. You know, you've got your Mumford and Sons and all that. It sounds like you kind of go to a festival and you find that tent that's miles away from all the other music tents, and it's got like little folky bands in there. And the lunchtime slot is filled by Frying Whiskers. Isoscale up to 6th place after Bike Racers had a little mishap. 5.4 seconds now off that top 5. So we're starting to see little pockets across the racetrack where drivers are finding their pace here around the Glen. So we can see where the battles are going to be. At the moment, Scarlett just seems to be, he's slap bang in the middle of the field, or pretty much in the middle of the field, in 6th place. But he's got a very even gap either side, pretty much. In that he's not really closing on Frying Whiskers there, but he's not really being closed on either by Method. And there he is in 7th place. And I love Red Bull. By the Roses is still trying to get involved there. Still trying to find a way around Method. And I've said how hard it is to overtake here. And look, I mean, you can see there under braking. And when they're coming into the corners, and Roses just seems to have that little bit more pace coming in, gets a better traction coming out, but because the corners here come thick and fast, there's two ways about it, and it's not easy to pass any time. So it's so difficult to pick that kind of spot, and this is really where he needs to try and make the move with the slipstream here, because the next longest straight is after turn 1, and it's too twisty for a straight to be a sort of good place for slipstream overtakes. And this is where he's going to prove me wrong. He's going to chuck one round the outside here, or is he? He's not close enough to take the inside line into this left-hander, but he's so close again. But he's got to get this done before the chicane. You can't go too wide through the chicane unless you are crazy or crazy good, I suppose. And he does make that move into the chicane, under braking, gets into the chicane first. Does he come out in 7th place? Hell yes, he does. Method backs off, and that's the overtake done for Roses, up into 7th, heading back off the upper road towards Scarlet. How quickly can he open that gap then and close back down on 6th place? Lipe G69 in 9th place. His teammate Parafucio is 4th place at the moment. He is indeed in 4th place. He is 9/10 behind that battle between Roses and Method. Will this be will Method be his next target? And will Method be thinking about trying to keep stay away from him? He's already seen Roses get past. Does he now see Method Lipe do the same thing? 3.7 seconds back to my friend Arminus. There he is, Arminus GT. He has Quick Kick behind him now. He's managed to get round him, move up into 10th. Quick Kick quickly kicked him in turn 1, but Arminus now recovered and he's heading off up the road, trying to close that deficit to Lipe. Just actually done his fastest lap of the race with 1:45.5. The other backtrack driver obviously couldn't race yesterday, Division 3, according to what for the last minute, and everyone hates his boss. There he is, Quick Kick, 1 second behind Arminus now. Now Arminus is free. He's excuse me, he's off, and you know he's not letting him go by any stretch of the imagination, but he's 5.2 seconds back is Venom for RWB, the red or white and blue. And he is starting from his own 2.8 seconds clear of Rusty Nuts from Australia. And a Renegade right at the back of the pack now. So clearly, let's have a look at his lap times. We had a bad lap, I said bad lap, we had a 1:53.6. That's a bad lap in comparison to his standard 45.46s. And he did 48.1 on lap 8. And the consistency, the low or the mid to low 45 consistency for us nuts was just getting edged ahead into 13th place. I don't know why my phone does this. When I'm broadcasting, my phone just randomly starts to listen to me and tries to find tries to find like voice commands that I'm giving, but I'm not actually giving it. So that's a very, very early pit stop for HPR. So clearly, somebody's on a 2-stop strategy. However, that's outside the first stop window. Well, how far down is he dropping? He's come out in 9th. Where's Arminus? Arminus is coming around now, and Arminus will have the pace. So Arminus, I think, is going to take 9th place, unless HPR can get up to speed. Arminus up into 9th. So HPR drops 9 places with that pit stop. That is the problem with an early stop here, is if everybody else is one stopping or going longer, really costs you track position. Now, of course, he's only 20 seconds back from Bipolar, who's now taking the lead of this race. But he's got 9 cars in front of him, so that if these cars stay out for any considerable length of time, he's got to find a way to navigate his way through them. Unless, of course, he's planning on doing a much, and let's be fair, if he's 2-stopping this race, he's going to need to do a longer stint. Effectively, needs to do 2 longer stints. With these, and clearly, I mean, the same thing with soft compact tyres, because everyone knows mediums last longer than that. But that, I mean, that demonstrates why his pace was his pace. He was absolutely push. Everybody else seemed a bit more measured with the looking after their tyres. So, Wooly has dropped way down the order. So it looks like Wooly's had a problem of sorts, and that 1:57.8 lost 12 seconds there on that last lap. That would suggest that is actually the case. And Rose is now up to 4th place. So benefiting from that, he's got himself around Scarlet. Scarlet, and it looks like that was just pure pace he's got around him. Fried and Whiskers up into 2nd, behind, of course, Bipolar Express. So we have a HyPrix driver in the HyPrix Porsche Cup running in first and fourth position. Bipolar Express in the lead, 2.4 seconds clear. Pit window for the one stoppers is somewhere between 25 and 35 minutes into this race. You can stretch to 40 minutes if you are really, really looking after your tyres. But if you're looking after your tyres to that extent, you're probably not super quick. But we'll see. We'll see when the pit window opens for these guys. So Bipolar Express is 2.4 seconds clear of Fry and the Whiskas, who is 2.1 clear of Parafucio. But now half-second penalty for Parafucio. That gap will open up, as we can see, opening up to about 3.5 seconds by the time it rights itself. And Bite the Roses is 8.5 seconds off the back of Parafucio. Looking at current pace, so Bipolar, solid kind of late 44s, low 45s. Friday Whiskers has been doing solid 44s actually the last few laps, but similar pace overall. Parafucio, again similar pace, so the top three really similar in terms of pace. Top four in fact, Rose is very similar as well. Wooly was similar until his little incident on lap 11, and it's just dropped off a little bit. But pit window open for two stoppers and very, very smart one stoppers. I'm very good at how the hell are you? As you can see, we are 25 minutes almost into this racing up. It's Division 2 race, and it's things hotting up a little bit, and it's looking like a really good race. Bipolar leading the way. We've already had one stop from HBR. Scarlet is running in 6th place, just behind Wooly, just under a second behind, with HBR, who came out the pits in 10th. Has already got himself past Harmonis, Method, and Lipe up into 7th place. This guy's on a charge. So, did stop really early for a two-stopper. Granted, that was early for a two-stopper. However, this kind of pace, I think they're planning on stopping 4 times and just going full-on hammer time. Or maybe they're going for a 3-stopper and absolutely giving it some. To my knowledge, there's only been one 3-stopper in this championship across all 3 divisions so far. That was Toolshed, and I still don't know why he stopped it. Clearly had a strategy. It cost me a place in the top 3 yesterday. So if you're watching Toolshed, why, man? Why? Look to me like you have enough fuel to go. But we'll talk about that. I'll catch up with him at some point. He'll finish in the top 4 and I can ask him then, can't I? Right, so back of the pack. Let's have a look at the guys in the back. They don't get enough love, do they? There's Renegade, 5.4 seconds back. Showing good midfield pace early doors, but just trying to get a little bit raggedy there. Bad lap on lap 5, and the pace has been a bit higgledy-piggledy house since then. That's Sanctioned's TV reference in case you know. There's probably not many people watching that remember higgledy-piggledy house, and I'm showing my age now, aren't I? Rusty Nuts, 14.7 seconds, and that's Renegade just pulling into the pits for his first pit stop. Probably could have gone a little bit longer, to be fair, Renegade. I'm not quite sure why he chose to stop as early as he did. Maybe he's got a strategy to take it longer. Rusty Nuts in 13th, 3.9 seconds behind this guy, RWB Venom, who is our glorious host this evening, and 4.8 seconds behind his compatriot Quick Kick, who is behind Method. No, he's not. He's behind Harmonis. He's hiding behind Harmonis, who's behind Method. This is a 3-way battle for 9th place at the moment. Harmonis, a quick kick, and I hasten to use the word coming in. It was a coming together in the fact that Quick Kick just outbroke himself completely into turn 1 and gave a very big quick kick up the back of Harmonis. But got himself a 5-second penalty to boot. And Armin's at the moment looking really racy in there behind Method. Is there going to be a way through for him? They're both, for me, I think they're on very similar strategies in terms of fuel, and nothing separates them really. So it's just down to pure pace. Now Armin's fastest lap is a 44.8 as Woolley jumps into the pits for his first stop, dropping him down the order, as does Fry and Meniscus for their first stop as well. So that's a one stop, and I think we're going to do a one stop with soft and medium possibly. Yes, Armin's 44.8, Method's quickest lap 45.3. So that's easy to go by, and generally it's not. And I would have to sit in the math and work out the average lap time if you like. Well, no, not if you like, because I'm not going to do it. I have neither the smarts nor the... Well, no, I don't have the smart calculator. But I don't have the information to do so. We need like a little machine that does it for us. That I can click a little button that says average lap time is. That'll make it much more fun. Okay, Lipe. Trying to find a way to Lipe Frog Scarlet. See what I did there? So childish. He cannot find a way around at the minute, but he's clearly looking pretty racy. Why don't you want to finish this race, Kevin? Why do you not want to finish this race? Have you crashed again? Where were we looking? We were watching Lipe try and make a move on Scarlet, weren't we? There we go. And at the moment, he's looking to be much quicker out of the corners. So here he goes. He's making that run. He's going to have the inside line round his left-hander. Scarlet has to back out. You can't. When you can go too wide there. But if the car is clearly quicker than you, you want to risk it. You know, come back at them later. You're going to have time. And that's exactly what Scarlet does. There's a reason he's Division 4 champion, because you can play that long game. So Lipe up to 5th. HPR's worked their way up to 4th place. A few overtakes, a few people jumping into the pits. That's given him a little bit of a leapfrog. He's got a bit of damage on the front there, so this might not necessarily be his quickest lap. That means there are 2 HyPrix drivers in the top 3 of the HyPrix Porsche Cup. One of them, here he is, bite the roses, and that's a creative use of track limits right there. Doesn't get penalty though, gets away with it, so clearly it's fine. It's within the track limits. And he is currently running in 3rd place, 5 seconds behind Parafusio. And I said he was good, didn't I? I said he was quick, and there he is. He's proving it by being up in 2nd place. But the gap now, Bipolar Express. Once he was kind of unleashed into the lead of this race, bear in mind he hasn't stopped yet. HPR has. And HPR, the way Bipolar Express is going with that 10-second lead, I actually think he is going to put himself in a really, really good position. Now, he can probably go another 5, maybe even 10 minutes. Let me work out we're looking at how much fuel and tyres he used. He can certainly go to the 35-minute mark. Now, you can, with sensible driving, one stop this with 35 minutes on the mediums, 25 minutes on the softs. The 2 optimal strategies are to do that. And it doesn't matter which way around you do it, I think it depends where you start the race. You've got 35 on mediums, 25 on softs, or 25 on softs, 35 on mediums. And Scarlet into the pits. You guys, you could stop it with 2 stints on mediums, but I think as the mediums will go beyond the 30 minutes, I think you are better off doing a soft and medium strategy. The other strategy that is pretty quick, and I've seen, has been to go soft, soft, soft. And absolutely not. It looks to be that's what HPR's doing. The only problem is HPR's first stint was a little bit early for a 60-minute race. And that could throw him just out of sync. Or at least put him in a position where he's going to need to just rein it in one of his stints to avoid having to pit for a 3rd time. And he is crawling at the moment all over the back of Roses. And I mean, that won't face Roses. Roses knows what he's doing. I raced with the guy today, and I tell you what, this sort of racing isn't facing. And I've actually got footage of me. Right now, anyone that's raced with me knows that I'm properly slow. Right? I do not drive fast. When a race when a 15-man race finishes, you can guarantee that I am happy if I get 13th. That's how slow I am, right? And I actually overtook him twice today and beat him. And I'm going to save that footage as HBR makes that overtake, similar to what I did to Roses earlier. I'm only he's going to listen to this later. I'm going to hear about it this week at some stage. Yeah, so Rose is down to 4th place. HBR moves up into 3rd. Now, who hasn't stopped? Bipolar Express, not stopped yet. Parafusio, not stopped yet. HBR has already stopped once, will be stopping again sometime in the next 5 to 10 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes, I would say. Roses hasn't stopped. I imagine will stop somewhere around like 21-ish. Lipe has managed to make that Lipe past Scarlet, but that's only because Scarlet has been in the pits. Lipe is still yet to pit, of course. Arminis GT still yet to pit as well. Now up to the dizzy heights of 6th place with Venom up to the dizzy heights of 7th, crawling all over the back of Arminis, looking for a way through. Quick Kick is behind Venom's 1 second behind. It also needs to pit. They will probably have to pit a little sooner than the Black Flag and RWB driver just ahead of them. Another one, Too Fast for You, joining the run. Reed. Rusty Nuts. No, you should be able to do. You should be able to lock a run to entries. So once everyone's in that you need to be in there, you can just click a button that stops other people coming in, or just makes it invisible to other people. Something along those lines. Rusty Nuts is up to 9th place, 4.4 seconds behind Quick Kick. 9 seconds clear of Fry and the Whiskas, who was running 2nd and comfortably so as well. Is now has been in the pits though. Is now running in 10th place. Rusty Nuts still needs to pit, of course, as does Quick Kick. Wooly been in the pits, back out for the 2nd stint, and is 12.3 seconds behind Friday Whiskas, running in 11th place, 16 seconds clear of Method, who has pit, running in 12th place. They are 2.5 seconds clear of Scarlet, who has also pit, 24 seconds clear of their teammate Renegade. We're back once again with the Renegade Master, and there he is, running in 14th place. He's already been in once, will certainly be pitting again at some stage, probably in the next 15 minutes. So there we go, there's your race leader. He's now 11.3 seconds clear of HBR, who's made his way now into 2nd place. Bipolar Express, of course, still needs to pit. That will be, for me, I think lap 22, 23, maybe even lap 24, with a little bit of lift and coast. And with an 11-second lead, although that is going to start coming down with HBR getting in behind and giving it some full beans, there is a little bit of leeway to do that and just go longer and deeper into this race than maybe they initially planned. You can actually see just ahead there, just how quick Bipolar, or the front runners certainly have been, with catching up with Renegade at the back. Will Bipolar catch him before the pit stop? So there you go, there's HBR 82. Is that the year of birth, or their current, or their age when they're playing? And wouldn't that be cool if someone started playing on PlayStation or Xbox games, any sort of at 82 years old? Because I certainly know if I make it that far, probably unlikely. But yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Being a game of 82. 2.7218 seconds is the gap back to Parafusio, who has to deal with a rampant bite the Roses over the back of them in terms of tyres and fuel. They're a very similar strategy. Imagine you'll see them probably pitting at the same time. So then it'll be a case of who's got the biggest cojones. Which one of them is prepared to underfuel a little bit and try and make it to the end. That'll be interesting. Lipe, short for Felipe. Well, it's not. I don't know that for a fact. But why not? What's going on? Lipe's G69, 6.9 seconds back, still waiting for their pit stop as well. They, however, I think can go probably again like my opponents, maybe at 24 with a little bit of lifty coasting. Arminis, similar position. Bipolar actually jumping in now, so a little bit earlier than maybe they needed to, but if it fits with the strategy, why would you not just crack on with it? So there we go. The lead HyPrix driver is in the lead of this race. And Bipolar in, Parafusio in, Bite the Roses in. What about Lipe? Lipe stays out. Arminis GT, he will round this corner. It looks to me that Arminis is going to stay out. Quick kick. They are coming into the pits. Very tricky pit here as well. Easy to get a pit line penalty. Rusty Nuts does stay out for another run. So HBR regains the lead of this race, and that's 11.8 seconds. They will be popping back into the pits though in about 2, maybe 3 at a push laps. They went in very early for stint number 1. Clearly running a 2-stopper. They're going for the soft approach. Whereas his peers in the top 3, top 5 have all opted for the 1-stop, 2 different tyre approach. We'll see how it plays out. It's going to be the next pit window will determine once everybody else has been in done all of their pit stops, all of their certainly scheduled pit stops. It will give us a much better indication as to where we are in terms of track position, etc., etc. Lipe staying out of course puts them up into second place. It's going to be about trying to bring about a gap. 12.6 seconds HBR is clear of Lipe. 16 seconds clear of Rusty Nuts, who also needs to go in. So Lipe is 17 and a bit seconds ahead of Bipolar Express, who's 30 seconds off the leader HBR. It's about a 31 second loss. Lipe pulls off into the pits. What about Rusty Nuts? What's Rusty Nuts going to do? Stay out? No, Rusty Nuts is coming in. So tricky to get a penalty. It's so tricky. Bipolar Express speeds round that corner and zooms round that corner. I don't know the word zoom. Zooms round the corner. Zoom's been ruined. The word zoom has been ruined by the app because there's nothing zoomy about it. It's just there. It's like an online meeting. The word zoom should only be used for something related to going very quickly, in my opinion. So, Bipolar Express, 30 seconds off the leader. Now, will not need to pit again. This is key. HBR will need to pit again. And the pit loss is somewhere around 31, 32 seconds. So, this beggars the question. And it's 31, 32 seconds depending on how much fuel you put on board. It could be as much as 40 seconds. If you put in lots of extra fuel on. Now, here's the thing. We can see already that Bipolar Express is taking a little bit out of that time. If Bipolar Express continues to take chunks out of the time, HBR needs to think about when they're going to go in. And the question that I just asked has been immediately... It's almost as though he's standing behind me. He's not. As I furtively look over my shoulder at quarter to 1 in the morning, quarter to 2 in the morning. So HBR into the pits, of course. Now, Bipolar Express, where will you be, my friend? As we see him around that left-hander, he'll come round the last turn. HBR just coming out of the pits. I tell you what, it's going to be close. It's going to be real close. Here comes Bipolar Express. Where is, and it's so annoying you don't actually see the car coming out of the pits properly. So HBR still just dribbling past. And Frying the Whiskers also gets through. Or does he? Where's he now? He does. Fried Whiskers is through. So that will be pleasing to Bipolar because HBR has been super quick all day. Super quick. Well, they're biting the roses with a 142.8, demonstrating there is more pace out there. And imagine what you could have achieved, Roses, had you done a 142.8 in qualifying. I'm sure you won't. I don't care if we did it now. I would do it anyway because it's fun. Bipolar Express leads 5 seconds from Fry and the Whiskers. They have both been in the pits. They are running to the end of this race. Now, I'm not going to tell you what the strategy is, but I can tell you Fry and the Whiskers has done something I didn't expect. But I think he might be a genius. And we'll talk about it after. If it works, we'll talk about it. If it doesn't, we won't. HPR. HPR 82 to be perfectly exact. Is 1 second behind Fry and the Whiskers. Has done their second stop now. Should, can't see any reason why they wouldn't, run to the end of this race now. So it is, excuse me, it's a straight shootout between Bipolar, Fry and the Whiskers, HPR. Parafuso only 4.7 seconds back to go to the end. And Bite the Roses, who's just put in the fastest lap of the race with a 1:42.8, is also going hammer time. So I wouldn't count him out just yet. There's still a lot of racing to go. 18 minutes to be perfectly exact. But who's being exact? It's not exact as hard motor racing, is it? Not mostly. Wooly, half-second penalty for him. 6.6 seconds back in 6th place. But that's not too shabby from the ART driver. And I do want to give a shout out to ART, who I am going to be doing some stuff with on Thursday. They are raising money for cancer charity on Thursday. Be live on Black Flag Racing TV and ART Media from 7 o'clock. But I can't remember. But there'll be a number of lobbies running different cars, different kind of races, and you can literally buy a pole position or a free punt of a team of another racer, or to send somebody to the back of the grid. How cool would that be if you pay a £5 to get to pole position and someone else pays a £10 to send you to the back of the grid? And they did that to raise money, and for myself and Super Squid of ART will be on the ones and twos, as the cool kids say, or maybe they don't. Maybe they said that a long time ago, not anymore. That's on Thursday, but if you know ART or you know Black Flag, check it out. If you don't, you know where to find us. Lipe is he's made that Lipe past Scarlett. Where is Scarlett? I can't believe I said that 4 or 5 times now. Scarlett back in 11th place, actually. Lipe up into 7th, running quite comfortably. It looks at the minute now, everyone else off top 6 really has found a little niche on the racetrack. 3.4 seconds to Wooly, 10.2 to Quick Kick, who has made it up to 8th place. And I don't know, another penalty applied. There was a 5-second penalty applied for the big smash into turn 1, but that's not. I am not a steward, nor do I wish to be a steward. 1.9 seconds to the Rusty Nuts of Australia. And he is 3.6 seconds clear of Method. And what method, talking of Method, what method can Scarlett use here to get past him? Is there something Scarlett can do? Because at the moment he's kind of stuck behind him with no real... and you know, we've seen that overtaking is possible, but so much additional cleaning, so much more traction coming out of the previous corner. You need to be so close with a bit of slipstream that it's just so difficult. But at the moment, Scarlett tucked up nicely under that big looming rear wing on the back of that imposing looking 911. From the back, it does look like an imposing car. It looks like a car that means business on a racetrack with that big wing. That big wing says, I go so fast, I need this massive piece of carbon fibre to stop me from launching. And here is Scarlett talking of launching. Is he going to try and launch one round the outside? Doesn't manage it there. He's getting ever closer, possibly making the move on Method anytime soon. Here's the on board. Is there an opportunity as they come out here? Does he get a good run out as they head towards his left hand? And this is the part of the racetrack where overtaking is just so difficult. And you know, bear in mind that it can be difficult to follow around corners with some strings it is. But that gap's opening out a little bit now, and Scarlett's not able to make that move. So on we will go to the Black Flag driving areas at Harmonist GT. And Scarlett has hit a wall, made a mistake, and in bouncing off the wall, that has impacted on Harmonist, and Harmonist takes some damage to the front of his car as Scarlett rebounding off the wall and smacks into him. Now, was there a coming together method? I don't think there was. It looks to me that Method has no damage. So, 5.2 seconds is the gap from Harmonist now to Method. Venom in behind Harmonist, 16.6 seconds. And 1.5 seconds behind is where Scarlett has dropped in after that accident. He has got damage front and rear, and it will take a little while for that to right itself. You can see there it's now repaired itself. But it's a bit of a pain when you first do it to get your car in the right kind of shape. Especially if you do quite a lot of damage to the front, because it puts your steering wheel at a funny angle. And it's always the oddest time when you least expect it. It kind of rights itself, and you're usually in a corner. So Scarlett, is Scarlett going into the pits? Scarlett is indeed going into the pits again. Now, I imagine this is a tactical change. It's certainly not a necessary change. This is a tactical change to go for some speedier tyres, by the looks of things. Renegade, 29 seconds back, and I think that the fact that he was so far back afforded Scarlett the... put it this way, Scarlett had nothing to lose from that stage. So when you are second to last, the club is just far enough back, you've got nothing to lose by putting on a different set of tyres and trying something new as a way of salvaging your race. So, new fastest lap from Bipolar Express, and that's the kind of lap times I expected we'd see. 1:42.6 from Bipolar. He's in the lead of this race by 12.2 seconds. And despite the early onslaught from HPR 82, and let's be fair, Bipolar is doing those are 1:42, the sub 1:43 laps on an incredibly consistent basis. So, has just in the first stint of this race was quite happy, plodding along in the 45s, 46s, and it turns out it was plodding along because now he is absolutely rocketing, and it's sub 43 every lap, and HPR just cannot stick with him, and despite HPR's relatively good pace, we'll say that, but Bite the Roses, he's starting to ramp it up as well. He's nowhere near, well, anywhere near, he's not far off, he's probably half a second slower on average than Bipolar Express. But you know, everyone knows in racing half a second when you are chasing a lead is a massive difference. So HPR could be under some pressure from Bite the Roses, could be also under some pressure from Parafusio, who's started to ramp up the pace as well. These top four now, so essentially we've got Bipolar, who is, let's face it, 12 seconds clear, and I'm going to call it now, and you know, no commentators class and all that, I don't care. With 10 minutes left in this race to go, and 10 minutes is essentially 6-7 laps. Bipolar Express just need to keep it clean, and the race is his, and at that kind of pace, can't see that not happening. Now HPR, Bite the Roses, Parafusio, all battling it out for second place. HPR is going to need to up the pace a little, and has done so. Has seen the charge from the high road. What a drive that would be with a HyPrix 1-2 in the HyPrix Porsche Cup. And that's what we're doing today. This is the HyPrix Porsche Cup, sponsored GT Champions Porsche Cup, sponsored by HyPrix, presented by GTChampions.com. And this is round number 3. We are at the iconic Watkins Glen, and in the Porsche 911 RSR GT3 car. This is round number 3. This is division number 2, and this is where all the action is. No one cares about all that Division 1 rubbish. This is where all the battles are. Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3, and I'll tell you what, any one of these drivers out front here, Bipolar, HPR, Bite the Roses, Parafusio, Flying the Whiskers, even Wooly, Lipe, they wouldn't look out of place in Division 1. Very, very quick drivers, but I suppose the qualifiers are there to sort out the men from the boys and the girls from the women, and the quick from the damned and all that kind of thing. And this is why we end up with these guys here. And it is Bipolar Express, 11.7 seconds clear as it comes up behind and that's Renegade in 13th place to lap them. Scarlet well at the back now, actually 4 seconds back from Renegade. Not work for him to do. That was after his sideways shenanigans. HPR 82 is finding that gap behind getting smaller and smaller as Bite the Roses hunts down a second win here in Division 2. One last time out at Road Atlanta. You've got the Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, and hunting down another current Division 2 lead, of course, Bite the Roses. So it could all be for naught, that he's chasing it down, he gets a good result here, and then someone drops out of Division 1 and up Roses goes, and I don't get to character assassinate anymore on the broadcasts. 2.1 seconds Roses has behind him the onrush of Parafucio. Can he maintain that frenetic pace out in front? And I don't know if he can, Parafucio. And that's nothing against him. The pace is insane. It's going to be a really good fight to the finish, of course. So Friday Whiskers there in 5th place. Been running very well. Was running in the top 3 for some time. Just now a little bit off the pace. And I won't talk about their awesomeness with their different strategy, because it's not really paid off for them. Woolly. 10.6 seconds back in 2nd place behind Friday Whiskas. He is 5.6 seconds clear of Lipe. And I tell you what, Willie, you might need to pit again, my friend. Tyres looking a little bit ropey. Look, they should. They might last out. Problem is that Lipe only 5.7 seconds behind. Their tyres are not looking so bad. Rusty Nuts also in a good position for tyres wise in 8th place. Quick a kick. I don't know why I said that. That's just 3.1 seconds behind Rusty Nuts. Looking good to get to the end of this race without any danger. Excuse me. Method. He's got Arminis all over the back of him now. Arminis, I can tell you now, he's in the soft compound tyres. Method on the medium compound tyres. But Arminis is going to be racing. I know this guy can chuck a car around a racetrack. And he'll be doing this again in this class. I know he'll soon be driving his car. In the Lithuanian National Championship that starts tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Season 2 was a blast to do, absolute blast. Loved doing it. It's one of my favourite race series to do because it's really so good. And yeah, it's back with a vengeance. The next 10 Sundays are going to be a drilling field. Juiciness of racing. Venom is 13.9 seconds back from Arminis. He's in a very comfortable little 12th niche for himself, with 36 seconds back to Renegade, who is finding that his teammate is starting to close. That was 4 seconds, it's down to 1.9 seconds. Skylark is there after a spin. So there's your race leader. He's maintaining that 11.5 second gap. Bipolar Express of HyPrix to HPR, and at the moment this could be a HyPrix 1 and 2, because Bite the Roses is now just 0.2 of a second behind HPR. He's so close. He can reach out the window and touch that rear wing, and he's coming up with the slipstream. Pulls alongside, side by side. They go into the braking zone, and just a little wobble from Roses has to regain his composure, and that gives HPR just enough breathing room to regroup and go again. But this is not over, and I tell you what, HPR is, firstly, he's been promoted from Division 3, and he's jumped straight into Division 2, and shown that he could easily be promoted again and not struggle. So Division 3 was clearly not the right place for HPR. Just a series of unfortunate events, or you know, just being in the wrong group with the wrong people and got beaten by some much faster people has cost him, and he ended up in Division 3. But he's now chucking his car around with some aplomb in Division 2. But this is home of the bigger boys, and here is one of the bigger boys, Bite the Roses, and he's going to find a way around. You can sense, he can feel it coming. The only question is going to be, does tyre and fuel hold out? We've got 4 minutes left of this race, so we've got about 3. I think these leaders are going to have 3 laps, maybe 4 for bipolar places going. And here we go. So they are different lines into turn 1. HPR sticking to the right zone, doesn't want to give up any slipstream. Rose is going for the little switcheroo, and what a move by him. They touch, loses control, does get it back under control. That was brilliant car control from Bite the Roses. Is HPR being a little bit super aggressive? I don't think so. I think he's doing what he can to defend his lines. But that was a great move from Bite the Roses. Very surprised he didn't get through. And this is absolutely on it like a car body. And you can see Rosie just backing out a little bit there because he knows he can't go side by side with HPR, and he was going to get there pretty much the same time he was. You can see the cloud cover changing here, and this battle is absolutely on fire. Do not adjust your sets. This is racing of the highest order, and I got told off yesterday because I didn't see the lead across the line, but that's because there was a battle for third raging on just behind at the time, and I hope that doesn't happen again because I don't get told off again. But here we go. Bite the Rose is going to have another bite of the cherry, another go at HPR. He's closing right in. Won't do it here on this right-hander. Probably won't have a go on the left-hander either. But coming out of the final right-hander onto the start-finish straight, that is where these guys will look to make a move if the move is on. And here we go. So Bite the Rose is going to start winding this up. He's clearly a little bit quicker at the moment. HBR's last lap was a 44.8. Bite the Rose is 44.5, 3/10 quicker. So here they go, round that final right-hander on that power, under the go bowling side, heading down towards turn 1. This time, HBR stays on that left-hand side, just allows that slipstream. And because Rosie's clipped the wall slightly there, it's cost him a little bit of time. So not able to make that same little move there that he tried last time. A lot closer now as they head up the hill. Is there going to be any way through? He's in that slipstream. Can he get the move done before the chicane? Wants to try and get on that right-hand side, if he can, into that chicane. But HBR, so good defensively, he's just blocking off every opportunity for Roses to get through. And he cannot find a way in. And HBR really just putting that Porsche in exactly the right part of the racetrack. Every time that Roses sees a gap, that door gets shut. And I tell you what, fuel-wise, these guys are pushing to the end. Right, so quickly, there we go. Here's your leader, Bipolar Express, 13.7 seconds clear of the rest of anybody else. The battle raging here is for second place. It's HPR and Bite the Roses in second and third. Parafusio in fourth. Friday Whiskers in fifth. Lipe in sixth place. Rusty Nuts in seventh. Eighth is Wooly. Then we've got ninth is Quick Kicks. Armin's 10th. Method in 11th. Venom in 12th. 13th is Renegade. Scarlet is 14th. But this is where the battle is, and it's Bite the Roses and HPR fighting out. It's HyPrix trying to get them. They've already got the 1 and the 3. They're trying to get the 1 and the 2. Bipolar Express on the final lap wins this race. I'm sorry, but again I've missed it. But it's the battle is still raging on. Can Bite the Roses make a move? Out of the final corner, he gets the traction. Is he going to be close enough? It's going to be side by side as they cross the line. It is HPR just from Bite the Roses. What a final lap battle that was. Parafusio comes home in 4th place. Friday Whiskers comes home in 5th. I'm so going to get told off for not seeing Bipolar cross the line. Chris, I'm sorry, man, but I could not watch that battle between Bite the Roses and HPR. It'd be a travesty, man. Lipe is in 6th place, but Rusty Nuts having a little go. Can he get past him coming up to the line? He can't, so Lipe comes home in 7th place. 6th place with Rusty Nuts in 7th. Wooly finishes in 8th place. He wasn't initially a front runner, but those tyres ropey as hell. Quick Kick comes home in 9th place, slowing down as he runs out of fuel. Here goes Armin's across the line in 10th. good solid top 10 finish for Armanis for Black Flag Racing. Method will come home in 11th, does he? Yes, he does. Venom home in 12th. 13th was Renegade and 14th was Scarlet. But Bipolar Express of HyPrix, what a race he ran. He just bided his time, bade his time. Biden's not a word. He bade his time and just waited and stuck to his strategy, knew what he wanted to do, knew when he wanted to come in, knew what pace he needed to do that, and then when he took the lead of this race, he never looked back. And 14 seconds in the end. But credit to HPR, promoted up from Division 3 into Division 2 and brought it. Absolutely all of it. Every single last bit of it, he brought it. And what a battle with Bite the Roses those last few laps. Some of that defensive driving from HPR was phenomenal. And Bite the Roses did everything in his repertoire to try and get that place. The closest he came was a lap before the end, coming through that right-hander into turn 1. And just lost the back end a little bit and had to back out enough just to get back control of that Porsche 911. But what a finish. I'm going to get Bipolar, HPR and Bite the Roses into a room and try and calm down a little bit, because that was phenomenal. Catch you in a bit when I'm going to get hold of these guys and get them talking if I can. Catch you in a minute while I find them.
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I couldn't find a way around. He held every corner perfectly. It's just so I had that pace on, like, a little bit more tires on him against him. But yeah, he held that beautifully. I got to give prompts to him. Yeah, it just kicked out. I think I just touched a little bit of grass, and it unsettled the car.
I'm tired. I'm really tired. Yeah, actually, okay, about this race, actually, I was like, promised myself, then just finish the race without any issue. So I select for two stopper because I can't really get a good result for the medium tires. So I try to drive as fast as I can and then try to pass anyone,
Yeah.
try to finish higher. And I didn't expect I finished second. I was like, top 5 is my target already.
Well, I mean, you went off like a rocket from the start. You got the lead straight away, and off you went. I'm assuming it was always your plan to stop that on the soft compound tyres.
Yeah. Actually, I was like, want to hold off everything and then try to pull a gap, a pit stop gap. Like, actually, I tried to pull a pit stop gap and then try to challenge on the last stint with Bipolar, but he is so fast. I can't really get it. Even he is fast on medium tires.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think that sort of stood out quite well because you clearly from the minute one you wanted to absolutely give it some and just go for it. Whereas the two HyPrix drivers, Roses and Bipolar, went for that kind of more measured approach where they were happy to kind of keep in the mix and see what they could do later. But there was a time when I thought you came when you pit initially, you pit somewhere around sort of 19 minutes, and it was a little bit early for the first stop on a two stopper, and you came out in 10th, and it looked like you were so far back it was going to be almost an impossible job, but you just scythed your way through. It's almost like Moses part in the Red Sea, and people just moved out of your way as you sort of battled your way back into, I think it was 4th place you got up to before the battle had began again. How did you feel? Was there a point then when you were thinking I might not make the top 3?
That was my plan in the beginning. So I was like hoping everyone is slower than me so that I can pass everyone, and then a good job for everyone actually because they are quite fair. But I think there is one moment I have an incident with Mikael, I think. I was like want to overtake him on the which corner I forgot, and then he spun behind me, I think.
It's hard, isn't it, really, because it's such a difficult track to overtake anyway. Because once you get off that racing line, you're so close to the edge, and it can be really difficult. But you did a great job, buddy. Well done. Good.
Yeah, thank you.
Bipolar, dude. How quick are you, man? that was quali pace for about 10 laps at the end there.
Light fuel, good tires. I mean, it helps, right? So
yeah, definitely.
I just wanted to keep my head down no matter what. After the last race, I was kind of just saying, stay focused.
Yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you were really good at I forgot the name of the track, Red Bull Ring. But you didn't have much luck there, so you kind of everything sort of seemed to fall for you today because you did that kind of measured thing where it didn't matter how quickly HPR disappeared off up the road. You were like, I'm just going to chuck in my, and it was very consistent, and you were just churning those laps out on those medium tyres, and then you changed onto the softs, and it's like you just switched something in your head and just went like beast mode.
No, the softs are hard to keep for 30 minutes. They lose pace on like the mediums, consistent laps. Plus, when those tires get low, it gets pretty sketchy at the bus stop. So, I just kind of wanted to stick with the mediums, extend as long as I could, and then hop on the softs and make sure I had plenty of tire left for what was left in the race time. And it all just worked really well.
I think you probably got another 10 laps and still been 11.5 seconds clear. Did you think you were going to be that far clear when HPR came out after the second stop?
When he took the first pit stop, it was so early. I think it was at like the 20-minute mark of the race.
Yeah, it was closer to 19. I think just gone 19.
Yeah. Once he did that, I knew he was on a 2-stop. So I kind of knew I would be okay, unless I had an incident. If I had an incident, then he'd probably come out right at me. So it's hard to do the 2-stop if you're running good pace, and I was going to have good tires and good pace. So I felt pretty good there. It was just it all fell into place. The past couple races, I was trying to do this whole season in cockpit camera, And I just, with the bad results, I said, stop it. The team, you owe a lot of people to do better than this. So I went back to bumper cam, and it just makes a world of a difference to it. Just, I'm getting back a half second to a second every lap with bumper cam than I am with cockpit cam. So I just stayed, yeah.
I think even I mean, look, I'm by no stretch of the imagination a quick driver. Although I did beat Roses today, anyway, so I'm going to keep mentioning that. But I find that with cockpit mode, it's kind of, it's good for a bit of realism, but it's not really very good for any kind of pace or for any racing. You can't see anything, really.
It's good for immersion. It feels really good. Obviously, it's great for streaming and talking and hanging out. But when it comes to raw pace, bumper or hood cam are really where the raw pace is. So, yeah, I got to do good by HyPrix. I got to do good by my friends and my family and the whole mental health thing I'm trying to go for. And, people don't really follow, or you can't really promote mental health if you're always usually in last place, and you're not doing, you're kicking yourself on camera too. Because I'm a kind of a sore loser in a way. I kind of beat myself up. So you actually watch somebody lose their shit on camera. That's about mental health. So
yeah.
It was no drink.
You got the mine logo on the side of your car because
there's no crying.
Yes, you got the mine logo on the side of the car because we that was the charity that Black Flag supported last year, and we did a big kind of event where we raised money with a series of endurance races. So it's good to see, and I think it's important because sometimes this is the only outlet that people have got, which kind of keep them grounded or keep them sane, and they need something. And I think it's good that we can do that and help people in that way.
It's like one of the best communities to get in because you have instant friends when you have good times and good races, but it's also a good escape from reality because you're so focused on racing. You're not thinking about work. You're not thinking about your problems normally. You have bad races and it might compound some issues, but normally you come back out of that. So
yeah, exactly.
I think racing is a great forum for all this stuff. I think it really is. I think it's great to be able to just, I'm talking to you. I got some people on camera. I got team support, and yeah, that's what it's really about. This is great what GT Champions is doing, and it's just fantastic to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great community.
Guys, thank you very much. It's been awesome. I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight. It's just, like the adrenaline is just coursing through my veins. So I'll probably find some admin to do or make a video or something.
Commence, sir. But yeah.
Thank you very much, guys, and we'll catch up next week, I'm sure.
All right. See you guys.
There we have it. So they were your top three. Great little chat with them as well. Great guys. But what a battle that was for third place. But HBR moves up from Division 3 into Division 2 and demonstrates just how close the three divisions are. I think that's the thing that really demonstrates there, is that, we might have, some really quick guys in Division 1 and some different guys across the three divisions in total. But the gap really isn't as big as you think it is between them. Great racing. Absolutely loved it. Cannot wait until next week. And where are we next week? I've forgotten. I can't remember what we are next week. Anyway, wherever we are next week. We're at Daytona, of course. We're at Daytona. And that's full circle for me, Daytona. That's where I did my first ever GT Champions broadcast, so we're moving on. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a mega race. We will be back next week, Division 3, midnight in the UK, and I can't remember what time it is in America, on next Friday, and of course back with Division 2 on the Saturday, just like this. It's been emotional. Catch you later.
Welcome to the HyPrix